Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. On today's show, we're going to the other side of the line and covering the defensive line spotlight. But once again, we have to introduce you for the second time to this awesome new intro done by Mr. Aqua Ace over here to my left. Let's see it.
Welcome to the 305 Gridiron. Anthony and Josh in the zone. They just slid on, breaking down plays all day. That's the biz on. Every snap, every trap, every blitz on. Talk, turf, talk, tape, talk pride. From the tailgate smoke to the goal line drive. Aqua Ace cooking heat when the mics turn up. If you're repping Miami, put your hands right up. Hey, this the 305 Gridiron. Dolphins talk, we live it up. Anthony and Josh, Aqua Ace, yeah, they light it up.
Fins up, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. God, that's a banger. I can't get enough of it, Josh. Great job on that, buddy.
Thank you.
On today's show, man, we are talking about the defensive line. We are spotlighting our big boys on the D-line. No edge rushers this show, so if you're here to talk about Chop or any of the other edge rushers that we have on the team, sorry, check back next week. That's when we'll be talking about the boys who rush after the quarterback. This week, we're talking about the boys who make sure running backs don't get their due. We're talking about our Mr. Zach Sieler to lead things off, but first, let's talk about our tiers, buddy. Of course,
Yes.
We had to make our own tiers because why the hell not? It's the off season. Just makes it harder to explain it too. Tier 1 is the engine core player that offense or defense depends on. Tier 2 is our spark plug, explosive or useful weapon who can change games. Tier 3 is the wild card. These are upside guys with an unclear role. We like their talent. We just don't know where they're going to be playing. Excuse me. Got all choked up about talking about the tiers.
I know. It's the big uglies, man. Make you choke up. It's cool.
The Prove It crew is tier 4, buddy. They have talent, but they need to earn the trust. They need to earn snaps. I'm also going to throw depth players in here, veterans who are just there to kind of fill in every once in a while. Our bubble watch guys are, of course, the back 30 players on the team who are likely going to be working at Denny's or something after the preseason. Those are the guys who are truly trying to live out their dreams in the most difficult way possible. They are on the bubble watch. They are on the UFL roster watch, Canadian Football League watch, whatever other watch list you want to add to it. All right, man. So let's recap what happened last year. And we noticed something new this year, right? And everybody's going on about we took 3 wide receivers in the draft this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to just stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks for a position of weakness. You know when else we did that? Last year with a defensive tackle because we lost Christian Wilkins and we're like, oh shit, we need to put somebody in there. And then we lose Calais Campbell. We're like, oh shit, we need to put somebody in there. So we go and we draft 3 defensive linemen, including the 13th overall pick in the draft, which I'm still upset about, and Kenneth Grant. Then we circled back in the 5th round and we took Jordan Phillips, not the same Jordan Phillips we used to have. No, a different one.
A much better one.
And then we circled back again in the 7th round and we took Zeke Biggers. So those 3 continue to be on the roster and they continue to, or we're expecting that they'll be a big part of the defensive line. So you will hear about all 3 of those guys. But we cannot get into the defensive lineman position without talking about our boy, Zach Sieler, a guy that we have talked about potentially being trade bait this offseason, or maybe right before the trade deadline to a team that needs some defensive line help. Sieler was a journeyman for a long time, I think, with the Ravens before he ends up coming here, ends up starting alongside Christian Wilkins, and it turns out all Zach Sieler needed was to start alongside another guy who was equally or better talented than him, and he just exploded onto the scene. It got even better when Calais Campbell was alongside him. I believe he recorded 11 sacks back-to-back years.
Yeah, he had 10 plus sacks back-to-back years.
10 plus sacks back-to-back years from the defensive tackle position is unheard of. And then last year, he has a down year right after he gets paid, leading people to say, man, what did we just pay for? What's up? But the reality is it was Zach Sieler and 3 rookies. Well, right. Benito Jones and 3 rookies.
Right. So Zach Sieler and 4 rookies.
Yeah. So Benito Jones no longer with the team. He actually re-signed elsewhere. Good on you, Benito. Always liked him. Nothing against him. But it's time to get the other 3 involved. So Zach Sieler is the first guy we're going to talk about, dude. I think this is a very clear engine player, tier 1. If I'm talking about in relation to the Dolphins, tier 1. If I'm talking about in relation to the entire league, I probably put him in tier 2, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on Zach Sieler.
Yeah, he's the engine on the defensive line. This defensive line goes as he goes at this point in time. And I'm saying that to set up a conversation we will have in a little bit. But at this point in time, I love Zach Sieler. I think it was so cool, his journey from small school to I want to say undrafted rookie, sticking on, or late round rookie maybe, but yeah, just check it out.
I can verify it for you.
Small school, smallish school.
Smallish. He went to Ferris State. I don't even know where that is. He was drafted in the 7th round.
Drafted in the 7th round out of Ferris State, which is located in Ferris, the state of Ferris. I'm kidding. I don't fuck if I know. And then I'm almost positive he came over to us off a waiver wire claim.
Yeah, his second year in the league, he got cut. He got sent to waivers, and we picked him up.
Yeah, and then he just turned his career into getting a massive bag of money, which is amazing for him and his family. And he's a pillar of consistency. And I give him a pass last year because, to your point, he was coaching rookies on the field right as the snap was being made, telling them where to look and what to do. And look, that's a lot for any player. But we saw what he can do when he had veterans or talented players around him. And that is not a knock on Grant or Phillips or Zeke Biggers. They're all three of them are talented, and we'll talk about them momentarily. But Zach needs to turn it around this year, right? There's no more excuses. The question is, does he do it on Miami or does he do it somewhere else? Right?
That's a good question. I will say, I just want to dive into the underdog story a little bit more because it's absolutely nuts. 7th round pick by the Baltimore Ravens. He plays 6 games for the Ravens. That's all. I don't remember who was on the Ravens defense in 2018, 2019, but their defense is usually pretty good. So not that surprising that he wasn't able to crack the starting roster or that he got waived for that matter. He only played 6 games. What's surprising is that the next year was 2020, right? He played 3 games for us after we picked him off of waivers. He got a sack. He had 8 tackles. It was nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
From 2020 to 2025, he has played 15 or more games for us every single year. That is crazy.
Yeah.
He has played in 102 games for us. He has 35.5 sacks, 357 tackles, 5 forced fumbles, 6 of those recovered, and a touchdown for good measure. Like, tell me a better underdog story on D-line.
I mean, the only one I can think of is Cam Wake. Right. I mean, and that's a massive compliment to Zach Sieler is that you're in a conversation.
Great.
Right. I'm just talking about from a, from an underdog story, right? Sieler is just everything you want in a player. And it's really cool that he's still on the team. The question becomes, is he still on the team when the season starts?
I think he is on the team when the season starts, but I could very much see him not being on the team the entire year.
So I'm going to, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to fire him. I'm going to shoot my shot. Okay.
Go for it.
Hot take here live on the show. Well, not live on the show, but here on the show. I think come week 1 of the NFL, this is 2 hot takes in one. It's 2 hot takes in one. Come week 1, game 1 of the NFL, the Miami Dolphins starting defensive tackles are going to be Kenneth Grant and Jordan Phillips. Hot take 1B is that's because we traded Zach Sieler for some draft capital.
To the Raiders again.
Get him on a team where he can hopefully compete. He's kind of out of our window, if you will, because we have ripped this thing down to the studs. I've said it multiple times on multiple shows in a row, and I'm going to keep saying it because it is an absolute mind-bending stat. The Miami Dolphins have 66, 67% of our cap, total cap, allocated to dead cap, which is allocated to players that are no longer on this team. We have torn this thing down to the studs. We're going to have a shitload, $100+ million next year, $100+ million a year after that. Zach Sieler, unfortunately, does not fit in the timeline of this team now. And I don't want to see somebody who has such a great story, has such great talent, stay on a team that is going to prevent him from potentially competing for a playoff win, multiple playoff wins, or even a championship. And I don't want to see him go, but I do think that if we can find a team that needs interior defensive lineman help, we could probably get something decent for him. I'm thinking maybe a fourth or a third round pick if they take all of his money, kind of thing, right? Or maybe a lesser pick and a player, depending on the swap. Like, we could get something for him.
Yeah. A dead cap hit is pretty high if we got cut. I don't know what the dead cap hit would be for trading him. But I do know after this year, there is a potential out. If the out is not exercised, he will be accelerated to making about $20 to $23 million per year, which is quite a lot of money for a defensive tackle. So,
well, not nowadays.
I do imagine though that this deal was set up to be a 2-year.
Yeah.
I forget what the guaranteed was. 2 years, $43 million contract. So it would be a rental for another team. He'd likely get cut or restructured after that season. So I definitely these are the veterans that you usually see moved.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
not because it's not because he's not talented. We just got done glazing the fuck out of him, right? He is super talented. It's just I don't want to see him waste the talent of his career on a team that is rebuilding, and we're not anywhere close to competing. I'm sorry.
I hear the Rams are making some trades these days. I mean, maybe they'll throw a third or so at us.
I mean, they live by fuck them picks, so yeah, why not?
Jared Verse being sent to the Browns. What did he ever do to you?
Jesus, can we talk about somebody that went from the penthouse to the fucking cellar?
2 years looking like an all-star, gets traded to the goddamn Browns. He has to do what Myles Garrett did now and be the only good player on the entire team.
Now let's talk about the flip side. Myles Garrett on the Rams, dude.
Yeah, Myles Garrett on the Rams is nuts. Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah, but this is a Dolphin show, so
it is, but I love the NFL, so we're going to talk about that too. But one last thing on that. Good on the Browns for holding out until they got a player back, though. Like, it would have been such a Browns move to just be like, yeah, give us more draft capital that we're going to blow and do nothing with. So good on them. Yeah, Zach Sieler, I do think he'll be here. I hope for him he gets traded. I don't know if he wants to be traded. I don't know if he wants to play for a contender. Usually these guys do, but you never know. Zach Sieler's been here for like 7 years. He's got roots in Miami now, so we'll see about that. I definitely think he is the engine of this defensive line, though. Last year he certainly was being asked to do too much, and the hope is that the next guy we're going to talk about is way better this year and can help take some of the pressure off of him. Next guy, of course, being Kenneth Grant, my friend. Any of you who have watched this for any amount of time know that I was not a fan of this pick. I thought that there were much better talents on the draft board still, and we won't know that for another year or two before we know for sure if my feelings are justified or a fan being overreactive. It's likely that. But hey, Kenneth Grant's going into year 2. He's the 13th overall pick. He came out of Michigan. Him and the kid who's also in Cleveland were side by side, Mason Graham. Both get drafted in the top 13 of the 2025 NFL draft. He is a huge man. He is known. He came out. The reason they gave us for drafting him is that he would help stop the run. We sucked against the run last year. So mission not accomplished. Hopefully this year, with another year under his belt, I know the jump from year 1 to year 2 for NFL players is usually gigantic. I am really hoping that we see more out of him because right now I have him just as a wild card. I think his upside is huge, but I don't know what his role is because it's a new coaching staff, a new GM, new everything. They have no ties to this 13th pick. And if they like Jordan Phillips better, or they like Zeke Biggers better, or they like, I don't know, Aqua Ace better, I can see them starting him over Kenneth Grant. So I'd love to get, I know you're usually, yeah. Now you are usually more forgiving to rookies than I am.
Yes.
So I'm interested in hearing your take on Kenneth Grant this year.
Yeah, look, as like you said, those that have watched the show know I'm actually a huge Kenneth Grant fan. I give rookies a lot more grace than some of us. Not
me. I don't give him any grace.
Anthony, whose name rhymes with Schmanthony. And
not even a word.
I know, but I really like the things that I saw, especially in the second half of the season. Was it up to par? No. Was it where we needed to be? No. Was this team a disaster from top to bottom? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, what I need to see from Grant now is, can he impact in more than just early downs, right? Can you stuff the run, which is what you're 300 and what is he, 330, 340?
335
Right.
is the official number, but who knows
You
what he's
are
at.
a human, like a brick wall of a human being that is also freakishly athletic. There is no reason for you not to be impactful on 3 or 4 downs in the NFL. And I expect to see it because I know what he was like. I thought he was the best. He was the better of the 2 Michigan defensive linemen, personally. And I was elated that we got him at 13 because we just lost Wilkins. We didn't have much. We needed someone in there. This was the guy that one of the guys I had pegged for us. Did I think we were going to get him at 13? No, I thought we might trade down a little bit and he'd be there. Sure. But I think now, despite, what it looked like last year, he is a very good run stuffing defensive tackle. And I think what is going to make him take that leap forward is the much better linebacker play that we have behind us now. And the year in an NFL weight room, he had the offseason to rest and recover. He's put in time, hopefully, in his, with dietitians and with training staff and physical trainers and weightlifting and getting stronger and getting more physical and getting more athletic and being more agile. It's all going to feed into him being a much better NFL defensive tackle. And I am salivating to see what happens when he gets on the field again, because you saw flashes of it at the end of last year. The last 6 games of the year, he was it was night and day from what we saw at the beginning of the year, which totally makes sense. Defensive tackles, they struggle in transition. Very few of them become successful in their rookie year. To your point, year 2, year 3 is when we need to start seeing it. And that's when we'll tell if this was the right pick or not.
Yeah, I mean, what he's got going for him, too, is he's one of the youngest players that was drafted last year. He didn't turn 22 until October, which means he's not turning 23 this year until October 27th. So he'll start this season, his second season, at 22 years old, which is pretty crazy and nice for us, right?
Yeah.
Ended the year with just 4.5 stuffs, which is an ESPN stat, so I don't know how accurate it is. Please don't kill me. He had 2 sacks on the year and 33 total tackles, so expecting to see much more. I think his biggest threat to playing time is Jordan Phillips. I think Jordan Phillips had a very nasty style of play last year that I think Jeff Hafley is going to absolutely love. He just comes at the offensive line with a lot of bite, a lot of bark. And, when you've got a new coaching staff coming in who likes aggressive, physical play style, they're going to be looking for that aggression and that physical play style more than any other position than maybe the offensive line on the defensive line. So I do see a path for a guy like Jordan Phillips to potentially leapfrog Kenneth Grant if Grant isn't, up to snuff like we think he should be.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Phillips, I had a 3rd round grade on him.
Yeah.
We got him in the fifth, right? Yeah. We saw it. I mean, this guy had wrestling, years and years of wrestling background. You saw it on the field. You saw the nastiness. You saw the leverage. You saw the power. You saw the speed to power transitions, the power to speed transitions. You saw the understanding of angles and punches, and he was everywhere when he was given the opportunity to play. And the only thing we need to see more of is consistency, both in playing time so that he can show us what he can do, and also when he's on the field to consistently do what we think / know he can do, right? Which is impact the game, both rushing the quarterback and holding the line of scrimmage to stop the run. And I believe he was knocked in the draft for his size, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. It was multiple years ago, 2 drafts ago at this point. I was over the moon when we drafted him, mainly because if you remember on our live show, I said, with this pick, we're drafting Jordan Phillips. And 30 seconds later, the Dolphins said, and we're drafting Jordan Phillips. I was ecstatic.
Yeah. He's also another young player too, by the way. He's just turning 22 here in a couple of days. What I like to look at though is the number of snap counts they played, and
Mhm.
very similar actually. Kenneth Grant with 554 snaps last year. Jordan Phillips with 465. So
Yeah, real close.
less than 100 less than Kenneth Grant. So they are definitely neck and neck last year, and I expect to see some of the same this year.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I love these two pairing to start for us at some point, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whatever the case is because they provide what the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And they just, to me, it's just a perfect pairing for interior defensive linemen, both of these guys. I did not realize that Jordan Phillips played so many snaps, but
Phillips, ironically enough, he's statted as starting 16 games last year. I don't know what position he started at, but he's got 16 starts to Grant's 5. So I don't know how that's registered. But that's the official
maybe
NFL stance on that. I don't know.
Special teams, maybe.
Could be nose tackle. I don't know.
Right. It could be or edge.
Yeah.
Because we did run big edge quite a lot with Weaver.
So how do you tier these guys? How do you tier Kenneth Grant versus Jordan Phillips? They had very similar statistical seasons and playing time in their rookie year last year. So how do you look at them now going into the 2026 season?
Yeah. Honestly, Kenneth Grant I have as a spark plug, which if you just as a refresher is explosive or useful weapon who can change games. I do think that he has that ability, and we will see it this year. And Jordan Phillips I have as a wild card. Upside player with an unclear role because I don't really know where he slots in. I know he's uber talented. It's just a matter of, is he a backup? Does he, if Zach is traded, does he grab a starting spot? Or in your case, if Zach is still here, does he grab a starting spot over Kenneth Grant?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? And it's never, it's not an indictment on his talent level because I think Jordan Phillips is one of the more talented players on this team at the defense across the defensive line. I mean, I genuinely do. Now, whether he puts it together, it's a whole other story. But I just want to see a little bit more consistency, and I'm curious to see where he ends up. Is he a backup guy or is he a starter?
Yeah, these two are very positional. It's situationally dependent on who's going to be out there, I think. Biggers is the bigger, or Biggers. I didn't get the Biggers yet. Kenneth Grant has the bigger body, the bigger frame. It definitely could be considered more nose tackles. Although don't let that fool you into thinking he can't rush the passer. He is a hell of a bull rusher. But I do think that Phillips proved a little better in that last year than Grant did. So I could see Phillips coming in packages where it's four down linemen with 2 edge rushers, where it's him and Sieler in the middle. And Grant coming in on more run defense. But we don't know what the defense is going to look like yet. We're not sure if our base package is going to be 3-4 or 4-3. Halfley's still working that out. I imagine he will know by the end of training camp, if not sooner. He's already got his roster together, so he probably will start piecing that together in the next few weeks. But I can say if there's 3 linemen on the field, let's say they're playing a 3-4 base and we have 3 linemen on the field, that these are the 3 linemen. Sieler, Grant, and Phillips, I think, are locked there. And I'd like to see Phillips and Sieler on the outside with Grant in the middle.
Oh, see, I would put Sieler in the middle and I would want it to be Grant, Sieler, Phillips. Personally.
I think that's how they usually do it, so you're probably right. But I want to see the big man in the middle, man. Give me that big man. All right.
Speaking of big man.
Wait, so I had both as wild cards, by the way, just to move on from those guys. Let's get into some of the last guy we talked about, Zeke Biggers. He was also drafted last year in the 7th round. Zeke Biggers also had significant playing time last year, though. Played 214 snaps, about 37% of the snaps last year. Pulled in 20 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss, 4 quarterback hits. That's a hell of a good job for only playing about a third of the snaps.
Yeah, he is a bowling ball of a human being. 6'6", 319.
Yeah, insane.
He is the definition of a nose tackle, in my opinion. He just, there were games where he would swallow two defenders, 2 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Right. And just open up. But the problem was none of our linebackers could rush the passer very well, which is why I'm so excited to see what happens this year, because I genuinely believe we could have one of the best, and admittedly, I said this about our defensive line last year. So, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but we could have one of the best linebacker cores in the league. And if you have somebody like Zeke Biggers, who is just this physical presence that just grabs one offensive lineman with one hand, grabs another one with another, and squishes one in the middle, talk about lanes for rushing.
Oh. I truly like. We're gonna get into surprises for our entire team later on, but I'll say, man, if the defense ends up being good this year, it'll be an enjoyable bad season.
Oh, it sure will.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my mentality going into the season is so far different than what it normally is. It's gonna take a lot to get me sad.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side, get me excited. But
we're still going to be mad the second we lose a game.
Of course we are.
Yeah, I mean,
of course
it's gonna happen. We're going to rage.
But it's going to be expected.
Monday night's no longer the reaction show; it's the rage show.
It's the rage bait show.
Monday night rage fest.
Perfect. Book it. But yeah, no, Zeke is one of those players that I just find myself gravitating towards, wanting to always be on this roster. I don't know why. Right. I mean, because to your point, his stats weren't crazy. For a 7th round pick, they were pretty good.
Yeah, for a 7th round pick to play 37% of the snaps is pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like Zeke Biggers. I love his name. He's like this bowling ball of a human being. That's just this ball of muscle that is shockingly athletic.
I love these 4 linemen, if I'm being honest. I think these 4 are just, I don't know. They're what I like. They're the style of football I like.
Same.
Same. I have him and Prove It Crew. I think that's pretty.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Pretty good spot for him.
I have one more person in the Prove It Crew as well.
Yeah. And it's a depth piece, I think. Matthew Butler, who we brought back to be a depth piece once we lost Benito Jones. So this is just a 5th lineman, man. I don't even know if he makes the team, to be honest with you. Yeah. There's not much to say there.
No. Ditto. I just, I have him in the Prove It Crew because, again, he did come back, has pro experience, can provide kind of that interior depth, to your point. But I would not also be surprised if he's there on the 53-man roster and one day, and then day 2 he's gone because we signed another offensive lineman or another cornerback or something.
Yeah, going into his 5th season, he was he's only 27, surprisingly enough, but he was a 5th round pick of the Las Vegas Raiders back in 2022. He played in 12 games for us last year, so he's a good depth piece. I can imagine him going through that typical end of the roster free agency pattern where it's like, you're signed, you're cut, you're signed, you're cut.
Practice squad, signed, cut.
He's like, can you at least pay for the hotel?
Yeah, please.
Let's get into the bubble watch, guys. There's some interesting names on this list of UDFAs and just free agent signings randomly here. I think the one I hear the most buzz about, if you want to call it buzz, is this kid, Rene Konga. Yeah. He was a priority undrafted free agent for us out of Louisville. People say he's got athletic upside. They say he's got some good potential there. Like, I wonder if he could be a competitor to any of the other 3 we drafted last year.
I'm not ready to go there yet, but I do like him out of Louisville. I was shocked that he went undrafted. I was elated when we signed him. And I think we gave him a decent amount of money as an undrafted free agent. So that tells you how they feel about him as a player.
Yeah.
I think he's battling Matthew Butler, if I'm being honest. I don't think he touches Biggers, Phillips, Grant, or Sieler, obviously. But I could, in a perfect scenario, I think Konga's stashed on the practice squad for a season, and then we have the conversation next year. Where are you in your development? But of the players that we're going to talk about now in the bubble watch, he's the only one that I really like, that I really think could actually make this team in some fashion, whether that's the practice squad or the 52nd player,
Yeah, I mean, it's not just looking. I know stats aren't everything for these guys, especially, but just looking at his path through college, it's clear to see why he ended up undrafted. First of all, started at Rutgers. Never do that, bro. Just awful. Didn't play his freshman year. Played 2 games his sophomore year, 9 games his junior year, 10 games his senior year. He's a COVID kid, though, so he had 2 more years. He played in 11 games for Louisville in 2024 and then started all 12 games for Louisville in 2025, where he got a 2nd team All-ACC. So not exactly the college resume that you're seeing out of a lot of these kids. Even so, NFL.com did have him projected as a 6th round pick, so a little surprising that he did go undrafted there. I love underdog stories. We just talked
Same.
about that with Zach Sieler.
Mhm.
So if he somehow finds a way onto the roster,
I'll be rooting
especially
for him.
given all the guys we drafted last year
Mhm.
and all the depth we have, that we think we have at defensive line, that will be saying a lot, I think.
100%. And by the way, I think Devin McCourty, Ray Rice, Logan Ryan, Mohamed Sanu, Kenny Britt, and Isaiah Pacheco might have something to say about Rutgers not being a good school to
I
start.
mean, you
at.
just listed a bunch of guys who were good like way back when. Like who are the and Pacheco just got cut. I mean, what is going on,
Bro,
bro?
come on.
I mean,
Get out
Rutgers isn't churning out that many NFL stars. Let's be honest. I mean, I live here.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, I think my stats will win that argument, but we're not here to argue about Rutgers
I want to though,
being
because I'm tired and I'm cranky.
being
No,
a
kidding.
bad NFL school. Anyways, other guys we have the back half. I honestly don't know much about these guys. I can tell you a little bit about one of them. So Keith Cooper Jr., Alex Huntley, Khalil Saunders, and then we most recently picked up James Esther off of waivers. He spent all of 2024 and all of 2025 on the Packers practice squad. Give me a shocked face if you're surprised.
Is that good? Right.
I don't know if that's a shocked face, more it's like a inquisitive. Anything you want to say about this slew of people we've never heard of?
Not particularly. No, like I said, the only one on this list that I was really okay, like had anything positive or anything at all to say about was Konga. That's not a slide on Huntley or Cooper Jr. or Saunders or anyone like that. I just can't imagine them, making the roster.
Is it the veteran Alex Huntley or a new Alex Huntley? I swear there was a veteran. No, it's a new guy.
It's a new one. Yeah. A tackle is out of South Carolina, I think. Right?
UDFA out of South Carolina. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, if you like any of those guys, let us know in the comments below because we'll be honest, I don't know much about these end of the draft UDFA guys that much. So I would love to get your opinion on it. So who do you like out of these Bubble Watch players? Rene Konga, Keith Cooper Jr., Alex Huntley, Khalil Saunders, James Esther going into his 3rd year on the practice squad. Let us know in the comments below. For now, we're going to get into our defensive line room summary, dude. I know this is looking like a shorter episode today because, well, there's not much in terms of battles going on in these defensive lines. Pretty locked in. It's one of the few positions on the team that seems like it's a lock already.
Pretty much. Yep. So who do you have as your foundational piece of all of these players? You can only pick one player. Who's your foundational piece?
I mean, I want it to be Kenneth Grant, but it's obviously Zach Sieler right now.
Same. I would agree 100%. And that is not understand. I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth because I just said we're probably going to, I think we're going to trade him.
Yeah.
But that's only a testament to his talent. If he's on this roster, he's the foundational piece far and away. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about the most important young player on the team? We have, or on the line, we have a lot of them.
We do. And I think this, in my opinion, it had to only be one player. Yeah. It had to be Kenneth Grant. Yeah. From the draft capital that we've spent to acquire him in and of itself. We need this man to take a step. And I personally think he will. I really genuinely do. And I'm not just trying to spew copium and try to talk myself into it. I think Kenneth Grant is going to take a massive step forward in year 2. But I could also see it being Jordan Phillips, right? I mean, I'm curious to see who you have.
Yeah, I don't want to agree, but I do agree. I mean, you can't take a guy 13th overall and then have him lose out his spot to a 5th rounder in his 2nd year in the NFL. That's not a great look. I mean, it doesn't matter because the guy who did it is already fired. So it doesn't matter over there. But still, it's not a good look for the players and all that other stuff. So I would love to see, Kenneth Grant. We have him kind of in these 2 different categories here. Player who needs to take a year 2 leap, I think it's the same.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who do you like as the year 2 tone setter? Who's a guy that you're just like excited to see ball out?
Jordan Phillips.
Yeah.
And it's not even close.
He's the most exciting player on the D-line, I think.
Jordan Phillips, I salivate watching him play.
Yeah.
He is. And it's so funny because listening to him in interviews or media sessions or whatever, like he's kind of soft spoken and he's, just this nice, like a guy you just want to go give a high five to. And you see him play and he's like, I'm going to murder you and your entire family. And I don't know, like maybe this says a lot more about me than I intend to, but I love that kind of football.
Yeah. I mean, it's real close there with most important young player and tone setter. There's not a huge difference in those two categories, but because like if he continues to work on his interior rushing ability and he becomes disruptive, the same level as Sieler in the middle, I mean, Calais Campbell was such a boon to our defense.
He was.
Like to get that, even half of that level of production would be so crazy for this young unit.
Agreed, 100%. Now here comes the thing that I'm so excited to hear. What's your room confidence? What's your grade? If you were grading this today.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm questioning my grade now because you reminded me of how high we were on the linebacker core last year and ended up being dead ass wrong about, by the way.
Yeah.
Ended up being one of the worst linebacker cores outside of Brooks.
No, we were high on. Well, we were also high on the defensive lineman too. We were sitting here saying
it was the front seven.
Yeah, this could be the best front seven in the league.
You could find quotes of us last season saying it was going to be the best front seven in the league.
Yeah, but not our shiniest moment.
So confident in it.
Yep.
So I'm trying to be a little more conservative here.
Grounded.
I still think this is a B. My confidence in this unit is a B.
Okay. Yeah. No. Look, I think it's. I have a B minus. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think you have two young rookies that showed out at times last year, that showed they have all of the capabilities in the world going into year 2, going into a full off season in a true NFL program with real coaching, with not that college coaching is real, but like true NFL level coaching with proper weight training, with proper diets and everything. These two guys are going to be so like we talked about last week on the offensive line show about being glued to the TV in the preseason.
Yeah.
This is another position room that I'm going to be watching like a hawk.
Absolutely, man. Oh man. I'm just second guessing myself so much on this B grade.
Well, change it if you want to.
I'm not going to change it. I'm going to stick with it. But my confidence, surprisingly, my confidence is in Sieler and Phillips, not necessarily in Grant.
And that's fine. Do I blame you? Absolutely not, dude. What has Grant given you to make you change how you felt about him when we drafted him? I was high on him,
but I'm really hoping he
you know what I mean?
shines.
I was high when we drafted him. I'm excited about to see what you weren't. He's given you no reason to think that you were wrong with your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, man, hopefully by week 1 against the Raiders, he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised you gave this a B because of Kenneth Grant. I was sure you were going to be in the low C's.
Because they all, here's the thing about the D-line. Break it down a little here. All 3 of them played a third to a half of the season. They were spread pretty thin. Anthony Weaver did that with a lot of players. It was really fucking annoying.
It was.
Right? We talk all the time about Chop Robinson is a first-round pick edge rusher. He played less than a quarter of the snaps. I don't understand that.
Don't even get me started.
Right? So we've seen the upside of them. We've seen the explosive plays. We've seen the get out there and be disruptive. We've seen it was just such a small quantity we saw it in because of the limited number of snaps that they played. Like Benito Jones and Zach Sieler played significantly more snaps than these guys. And they were just used as rotational pieces, which is wild. And it's one of those things where you see the coach and the GM disagreeing, right? Chris Greer took 3 defensive tackles because he thought the position sucked. Anthony Weaver said, "Nah, bro.
Nah,
I'm gonna put Sieler and Jones in. I kind of like my guys, right?" It made no sense. So I'm excited. I've seen some flashes from them that gets me excited about this unit, and that's why I'm a little more confident in this group than, let's say, the receiver group where I've seen nothing from.
Yeah.
Right. So I think my confidence here is a little higher, even than I didn't even give the offensive line this high of a grade.
No, you didn't, and I'm shocked. If I'm being honest, I like the grades that we gave the offensive lineman because there are a lot of questions on the right side. Right.
And because and let's face it, depending on who play, what we play, there could only be 2 of these guys playing a game as starters, significant snaps. So it's less to be confident in. Whereas the offensive line, I feel like we're missing 3 positions potentially that are not solidified yet. This one, it's we'll pick 2. Are you confident in the top 2? Fairly.
Sure. Depends on who your second one is. You might think it's Jordan Phillips. I think it's Grant, right?
I mean, hopefully, if all things ring true based on what you've said, it'll be those two playing together.
Yes, yes. It will be those two, in my opinion, playing at some point in the next 2 years. I just happen to think it's going to happen this year.
Watch it be Rene Konga and Zeke Biggers instead.
Could you imagine?
Just so we have the best named defensive line unit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's amazing.
By the way, Josh, did you know that we have 204 subscribers now? I absolutely can't believe it, dude. Our goal is 250 by August 11th. We're on a really good trajectory to get there. If you're watching it at this point and you've made it all the way to this point of the show and you're still not subscribed, just hit that button, dude. It helps us. You can mute us if you want after the fact. Just hit the subscribe button. You obviously like the show if you stayed this long. We have a lot more content coming to you this offseason. We're sitting at a show a week for the summer because the news is slow. We apologize. But for the most of the year, we're at 2 shows a week. So you'll catch us in season every Monday and Wednesday. Mondays are our reaction show. Wednesday's our preview show.
And those are live, by the way.
Those are live.
Yeah.
Actually, starting the end of July, we start our live shows. I think it's a week or 2 prior to the preseason starting. We're starting early this year.
Hell yeah.
With the live shows, man. Because last year we started preseason week 1, and I didn't like that. So we're starting a little early.
We got to ramp up, and our live shows are so fun. So if you haven't joined our live shows, we get the chat popping. Everyone, hot takes galore. There's conversations. We pop shit up on the screen. It's so much fun.
By the end of the year, we stopped making show notes for them because it just didn't matter. We didn't get to any of the show notes because we had all the people chatting.
It was awesome. And honestly, like, we don't do this shit for money. This is a hobby for us. Like, we're just Dolphins fans, and we love chatting with other fans, other Dolphins fans. There were many shows where we had Kansas City fans joining. We had Browns fans joining.
The Bills fans always show up. I don't know where they're coming from.
Yep.
They find us.
It's a hell of a good time, man. It's a real hell of a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Josh said, we're not doing this for money, bro. Like we're 200 subscribers. We're not making no money. The subscriptions help get the show out to other people. That's why we want you to subscribe.
Yep.
Cool. Oh, by the way, if we hit 250, we're giving away a jersey. So if you want a chance to win a Dolphins jersey, just hit the subscribe button. That's all you have to do. We will collect the 250 email addresses once we hit it, and we will put them in a randomizer, and whoever wins it will get an email from Josh over here.
Yep.
Which way are you? This way. This way. Yeah. And that's it. So it'll be our second giveaway, by the way.
And we've given some swag away already.
Yeah, we have given some Blake Balakai
Yep.
won that giveaway. He is a regular in the live show, so we can't wait to see you this season as well. All right, Josh, I think we have to wrap up this show, unfortunately. But next week, we're back to talk about the edge rushers, so don't forget about us. Come on back next week. Next Wednesdays, 7 p.m. That's our current schedule. Cannot wait for my boy Josh, a.k.a. Aquays, over here to my left. I'm Anthony Pinzone. This has been another episode of the 305 Gridiron. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, fins up, baby.